Conscious Whispers. So we've gone through a few pages now. Belief, RNA and DNA, the inner jukebox, taking the roof off of the mind, a life in peace or in pieces, turning the past on its head, seeing the past from a different perspective, a different viewpoint. And now we move into hire yourself. We often wait to be chosen by another, yet how often do you choose you? How often do you choose to hire yourself? In elevating your heart consciousness, you get to set yourself free, your higher self. Hire yourself, your higher self is your heart. And this is where we move from. And so, choosing ourselves, hiring ourselves. What would you actually hire yourself for? If you were looking for employment, what role would someone benefit from hiring you in? What would that role be? What are the things that you know without a shadow of a doubt, that job is for me. That role is mine. I fit that completely. No one else can potentially do this better than I can. What would that be? When I was coming up with the concept of this picture, I remember seeing and hearing Lord Alan Sugar in The Apprentice, and him pointing as he does at people and saying, you know, you're hired. And I thought, hang on a second. You know, we're looking for someone else to hire us, and it's so important in that program that, you know, you get hired. But how many of us hire ourselves in life? How many of us actually choose ourselves in life? And what would that look like? What does that look like for you? What would it mean to hire yourself? Not just in a job role, but to grow yourself, to hire this hire too. What would that look like if you're growing yourself? What fears would you need to face? What obstacles from your own mind would you need to overcome in order to walk your walk? What does all of that look like for you? To hire the self. And yeah, sure, it's okay to know things that you wouldn't hire yourself for. Yet don't focus on the things you don't want. In order to get to where you want to get to, in order to get to where you need to get to, you gotta switch that mind into, well, what can I do? What am I good at? What are the things that drive me and my heart forward? Only you can answer that question. There's too much of this looking outside of ourselves for answers, and I've been really guilty of this in the past. So it's not that, you know, I'm talking from a place where I know it all. No, I've been on the other side where I've looked for validation from others. And it was only when I looked in my heart that I understood that there was a younger version of me looking, craving love. And she's been looking, craving love for so many years that if I didn't give it to her, I think she would have just shrunk further and further into herself. So I had to walk in the steps of my higher self. I had to walk into the step of my heart. And you'll notice I always come back to the heart with all my pictures, with everything I talk about. It always comes back to the heart. With the work I've done, with the time I've spent in different holistic walks of life, one thing I keep always coming back to, I mean, even medically, is the heart. Within your heart lies everything. It's the powerhouse. It's without it, we're nothing. And yet we spend so much time giving, giving, giving. And I always say the heart has to receive too. The heart has to take in oxygen from the lungs so that it can function at its best. Your higher self is sitting and she's waiting, or he's waiting, or they're waiting. Your higher self is sitting and waiting in the heart. When was the last time you went to see them? When was the last time? Because you don't need an appointment to go see them. You just need willingness to go and sit in your own heart. When was the last time that instead of watching a movie or Netflix, that you closed your eyes, worked in on your breath? It's very clever that the yogis had us working in on our breath, because what else sits in your chest other than your lungs, and it's surrounded by your lungs, is your heart. So when we're asked to breathe, when we're asked to focus on the breath, your focus, your attention can also then move to your heart. So smart. Your higher self is waiting. How long are you going to keep them waiting for? When are you going to connect in to yourself? When are you going to take that jump in to yourself? Because I'm telling you, your higher self has all the answers you're continuously looking for. I'm going to go see Mary Poppins tonight with my friends at the theatre, and I cannot wait. I mean, Mary Poppins, if you look at her as a character, she was embodying her higher self. So when I'm talking about stepping into your higher self, she was embodied into her higher self. She knew herself. She knew what she loved. She knew what she was good at. She did not doubt herself. And no one else doubted her either. I'm surrounded by so many people who are super talented in different areas, different walks of their life. And it's sad for me when I see them holding back, because these are people with great hearts who can just take something and create magic from it. Your heart is magical, and when you step inside of it, you can only be magical, you can only be authentic, you can only be you. No more pretending to be or to please anyone, anything else. Always, always, when colouring, when creating, just losing the thinking mind and just flow. Nothing to do, no one to please, nothing to be, just having fun. This reminds me of grass, of Mother Nature. I feel like I'm doing a wax on, wax off, like in Karate Kid. Wax on, wax off. It's quite relaxing actually. Maybe I'll call it the wax on, wax off technique for colouring. And guess what? I've been getting more than 5 views on my videos. I'm so happy. So happy. Sometimes I laugh and I'm like, oh, maybe someone mistakenly went on the video. Oh well, no such thing as a mistake. Maybe they went and bought colouring pencils for someone who they love and adore. Speaking of which, there's a link on the screen directing you to my website. You're welcome to buy the books, Conscious Whispers, which are the ones that I'm colouring in right now, can order your copy and have that posted out to you. And then we can colour together. How cool is that? You don't need to colour like me though. I suggest you colour as your heart wishes you to. I'm just in my own play, in my own joy. Doing the things that little me would enjoy. That scared little girl. Gosh, she was scared of so much. She just didn't know how to voice any of it. No idea. And even when she went on her healing journey, she was such a mousy little girl. And somehow, through everything that life's thrown my way, her way, we've still come out soft and better, with less bitterness. Somehow, the heart has become lighter, less judgment, and more compassion for the different characters. And myself too. I mean, how cool is it to say that I've created a book and it has my name on it? That is cool. That is cool. And people out there have my book. Ah, happy days. And I would be colouring so different if I could move the page, but I just really don't want to edit. So I'm keeping the page straight. Things we do, eh? Things we do. Don't want to use you. Oh. That one's not going to go. Give me a sign. Okay, I guess you're the sign. I don't know if when anyone else is colouring, if they're singing songs in their head. I start singing songs. Even when I'm talking, I'm not singing the song at that point. That would be like an incredible amount of multitasking. But when I'm silent, I'm actually singing a song in my head. Like the other day when I was doing Turn the Past on Its Head, I kept singing Shakira. And now the song's in my head again. Ooh, I feel like going like half and half. Your higher self, hire yourself, grow yourself. Refuse to stay the same. Whatever year you're watching this in, remind yourself that this next year, this next month, this next week, tomorrow, the next moment, you're going to grow into your higher self, the best version of you, whatever that looks like for you. Come September time, even starting now, I like to put things in place. I've done it for the last couple of years where I will say, right, September starting, what are the things that I want to start putting in place that I want to be doing come January of the next year? And through doing that, it's actually helped me grow myself, change my life, learn new skills. So, what would that look like for you? What does growing yourself, hiring yourself look like for you? And why is that important? It's not often I second guess myself. Right, let's see. Yellow could work. Maybe. Maybe you. Peachy. Yeah, this one works. What would growing yourself for tomorrow, for next week, for next month, what would that look like? So I'll give you some examples. So last year, I got fed up of repeating myself saying, I can't swim and I can't sing. So what I ended up doing was mid to late summer, I booked myself swimming lessons and I booked myself singing lessons. And what's happened is I've come into this year, so 12 months on from there, and I've completed all my swimming lessons. And I was even told by my swimming instructor that I should look into teaching swimming. So going from someone who would panic being in the deep end, who couldn't tread water, to being someone being told, have a look into teaching, you've got the temperament for it. You don't know behind your fear what skills are lurking there. So step into your fears. Even with singing, what I'm learning about voice, what I'm learning about opening up my lungs. So swimming and singing, they were both focused on breathing, breath work. So it made me want to do them even more, because what's near your lungs? The heart. You guys are getting so clever. So as we begin, focusing on our breath work through your nose, breathing through the nose. I remember during COVID seeing medical professionals talking about breathing. I was like, oh, brilliant. You know, they're talking about breath work and then they're breathing through their mouth. It's just like, I can't believe this is happening. Breathe through your nose. colour do we want to do higher? I think green. Always, always, always breathe. If you don't breathe, you die. Unless you're a yogi. If you're a yogi, you can extend your life through breath work. Why not become a yogi instead of a rogi? R-O-G-I. A rogi is someone who has disease, has a rog, R-O-G. These are Sanskrit terms that I came across in Ayurveda. Actually, in India, they don't call it Ayurveda, they call it Ayurved. So the A they don't pronounce. So they can tell when we've come from the West. Because instead of calling it Yog, we call it Yoga. Instead of calling it Ayurved, we call it Ayurveda. What would it look like to hire yourself? What is your dream role? What would it look like to step into that? When will you start choosing you? When will you let go of the fear and just be? When? Life is waiting. A lot of life is waiting. I'm looking at the shirt or top. I'm wondering what colours should come through. I just let the crayons tell me, and then it's their fault. I'm only joking, it's not their fault. It's just my understanding. Never a mistake. For anyone who believes that God is divine and God is perfect, why would we ever believe that God would ever make a mistake? Even that God is growing themselves. What are the things you need to start putting into place in order to live fully? Quite like the grey and pink experience. This one. But before then, let's do this. I forgot I was recording for a moment then. Went off into my own little world of colouring. Maybe here as well. I felt confident and now I've gone, ah. Why did I do such a blank shirt? I suppose it's so, I don't know, anything I say now is probably just me making it up. There are no mistakes. Just listen to your higher self. Now I know you'll probably have some other questions about the heart, the higher self, and the reason I'm doing these videos the way I'm doing them is so that eventually come page 66, which is the last one of book 2, by then you should have a lot of groundwork to really have no excuses to be on your healing journey. By then I would have shared practically everything, every tool I use to help me and others on their journey. And the nice thing is you get to learn it all, you get to experience it all. And if you're being intentional, the moments that I go in to breathe, hold, breathe in again, and slowly breathe out through your nose. When I'm doing these exercises, pause what you're doing and do those exercises with me. It's only going to benefit you. It's only going to benefit you. One of the things I wanted people to know is that healing doesn't have to be something where you're lying down, Reiki style, to have to receive a healing. Although I'm not going to lie, I quite like that style too. But my point is, it doesn't have to just be that. Healing is happening every time you breathe. I mean, oxygen is your biggest healer. And so many of us, we don't even know how to move it through our nose, let alone the rest of our system. oxygen is free. And all we've got to do is pull her in and release out carbon dioxide as our exchange. It's not a bad deal, really. What does your higher self look like? What does your higher self dress like? What does your higher self speak like? What does your higher self eat? What does your higher self drink? Stepping into the role of your higher self might mean life changes. It might mean your life changes. And if you've been asking for change, step in, step in, step in. And get out of your own way. Aren't you tired of being in your own way? I was so tired of being in my own way. So tired. The other thing that was tiring was I had all this wealth of information, knowledge, experience, and I had no idea how to share it authentically. And then eventually the divine led me to create this. And through this I now get to share for those who need it. And if you don't need what I'm sharing, I mean, that's great. I mean, please share in the comments. Life, anything that might help others. Heal, not hate. When we hire ourselves, we can alchemize hate too. Through a simple gesture of God bless you. God bless you on your journey. Because through blessings, the heart lightens, the heart awakens, and the divine that sits in the heart can take over. And then before you know it, we've got a world of heart-based humans. Hue, H-U-E, colourful, feels like sound waves. That's how it feels. That's the feeling I'm getting. And just see what comes through for you. Go. What colour is my person? You know what? Be rude not to. Don't think I've really even used browns. That's more of a grey. Okay. I don't know if this happened for anyone else, but I remember being in nursery, little school, whatever you want to call it, and I didn't know that I was brown and the other children were white. I didn't know. I didn't see that. I genuinely didn't. And I remember, like, I don't know what it was, that there was one day where I just realised, oh, I'm a different colour. But for a long time I didn't know. And then I used to hate the fact that, you know, I was brown. God, why did you do this to me? Why couldn't you just let me fit in? Because I wasn't meant to fit in, and neither are you. Do not fit in to anyone else's boxes. Get out, get out, get out. Save yourself from the boxes. It's the reason you feel the way you feel. Done. Tired of pretending. Tired of being what other people need you to be. Just tired. What does it mean for you to hire yourself? I know I keep repeating the question, but I'm channeling at the moment, and that's what it feels to me. That's what it feels like I'm meant to say, to speak. Where are you stopping yourself? And why? Do you have a genuinely fantastic reason to block your own path from your own light? To block your own path from your own light. That's a good one. Your excuses are a waste of your time and your energy. Spend that energy in hiring yourself. You are your own Alan Sugar. Okay, that all made me laugh. But you know what I mean. There are tasks that you would just fly at. And then there are things, there's fears for you to overcome. Do them both. Do the tasks that you're really good at, and also do the things that hold you back. Start putting energy into that. And what happens is day by day your courage builds. And someone who's making themselves and becoming fearless, oh, those are people that become unstoppable. Become fearless. Face the things that scare you. Never let anything hold you back again. Because what if, instead of what if I fail, what if you succeed? What if you make it? What if someone then wants to make a movie on you? What if you are the next movie? What if you are the next Netflix waiting to happen? They're waiting for your story. And there you are, just excusing away. Your excuses will not get you a Netflix series or a movie deal. Get out of your own way. Move. Move. Don't know about shirt. This looks more like pajamas. Hire yourself in your pajamas. Maybe that's the next thing I'll design. Hire yourself in your sleep pajamas. Pajamas that you wear before you go to bed, where you see the best version of yourself in your lucid dream world. I think this might work, you know. I think I'm onto something. Interesting. That square in the middle has just made me think of like a window of opportunity. Or a door to your next greatest self. I mean, if you're someone who believes in past lives, imagine how many lives you've already potentially wasted because of your fears. And now you get to step in and you made a promise to yourself, yeah, this time I'm not going to be scared, I'm actually going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Oh no, I'm back. Oh, I can't do it, I can't do it. Just get me out of here. Get me out. Can't do this no more. Get on and do it. Do it. You don't want to come back having to complete the mission, the task again. See it as your mission impossible. And in the journey, make it possible. This is interesting. Is it a door? Is it a diamond? Is it a window? The thumb can represent, is it Mars? And your index finger represents Jupiter. Action and the teacher. Jupiter represents teaching, higher wisdom. Your middle finger represents Saturn. Index finger is Sun. And then little finger is Mercury. Venus and Moon can be found on the palm of the hand. But Jupiter, the higher self. And there's some inner codes for you. The heart chakra is usually coloured in as a pink or a green. I used it as the DNA too. And then we've got what looks like and feels like sound waves. And that's conscious whispers, your higher self. I want to do something with this window. I do. And then I also want to stop myself. Just sign the thing greener and leave it alone. Lionsgate today. So it's the 8th. I made sure I remembered before I started. getting better at this signing stuff. 08, 08. I hope you've had a fabulous 8th of August. Sending you lots of love from this side, and we'll see you again next time.